Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
I'm Mansi Phadke, Senior Associate Editor with The Print, and we have with us Urmila Matondkar, Bollywood actor turned politician, who has recently joined the Shiv Sena just 2 months ago after a short stint with the Congress. Thank you so much for joining us. So it's been 2 months with the Shiv Sena. Can you tell us a little bit of how these 2 months have been? What are the party activities that you've been associated
To be
with?
honest, it's been a little lesser than 2 months also. So it's a bit too early, but it's been very exciting. The welcome has been tremendous and thumping. There is a lot of excitement and happiness amongst all the Maharashtrians, all the Marathi speaking crowd, and I'm assuming a lot of non-Maharashtrians as well. And so there have been a lot of activities in the sense of, attending all these various social activities, etc. Mainly it's been just that right now.
Has the party leadership discussed any formal role for you within the party administration?
Yes, not really specifically. I am just kind of going with the flow and we'll take it as it comes.
And what prompted you to join the Shiv Sena?
You see, after I left Congress, there was a big long gap. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to get back into politics, to be honest. And then thereafter, when I was considering it, I was just looking at a year-long administration that our honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra and Shiv Sena Supremo Shri Uddhavji Thackeray has shown. I think it's been a leadership which has, shown great courage, great self-restraint, great, in times which has been very, very difficult year for Maharashtra. I mean, to start with COVID, of course, that we were dealing with in a very big manner because Mumbai is a part of Maharashtra. And then thereafter, of course, there were other issues in the interiors of Maharashtra with drought and etc. So with all of these things, it needed really a stern and strong leadership. At the same time, taking people with them, more inclusive in terms of leadership as well, taking people into confidence about the, decisions he was making and everything. So that has been tremendous, and that was really, that is something which was a major part behind the decision.
So can you tell us the backstory of how it came out to be, who approached you and...
So basically, I got a call from the CM himself saying that, there was this, as you must be knowing, position of MLC which was going to be filled in. And he told me, however, a very interesting thing. The way he put it across was also very, very interesting. And he said that, the social and cultural background of Maharashtra has been so extremely strong, but unfortunately it doesn't necessarily reflect into our Vidhan Parishad. So I think that level that needs to be elevated, and if people like you are in these kind of positions, that would be very interesting. And I personally feel the kind of student of life, politics, sociology that I have been, I thought that that would be an interesting position to be in, to be able to work for people from Maharashtra. You see, when I came into politics, it wasn't out of any political ambition per se. I didn't even want to contest election for Congress, which a few of the Congress leaders in Mumbai are aware of. But it was a party decision, so I contested the election. And so, but my entry into politics itself has got to do with my ability to be able to work for people. So since that is where it has all started from, I thought it would be a very interesting first step towards re-entering politics in a way.
The nominations are still pending for clearance with the governor, but what are the issues that you would like to raise in the Legislative Council?
Honestly, the same thing I had said during my Lok Sabha elections, the same thing goes true right now. There are only issues and issues and issues anywhere in our country, and definitely a lot in Maharashtra as well. A lot can be done and needs to be done. So there are, of course, immediate thing is my main issue would be education for children, and of course women related problem as well. And then there are many other problems also. Also, I feel as a society where we have come today, that that needs a lot of reworking as well, because I feel whether it is politics, whether it is society in general, nothing was ever so poisonous and difficult to breathe in, So that I think, people who are aware of our culture, tradition, and our times that our great nation and our great Maharashtra has seen, that needs to be restored in a very big manner. So that is another thing that I would also like to work upon.
All right. See, Shiv Sena traditionally the way it came out to be in Mumbai, it came out with an anti-migrant nativist agenda, and it has a baggage, it has a history. In fact, in the 1993 riots, it targeted Muslims in Mumbai on a large scale. How do you reconcile all that with the kind of background that you come from? Especially, you are also married to a Muslim. Does that not make you feel a bit uncomfortable?
It's a very what you call it, restrictive approach or way of looking at any particular party. I think you would agree with me if you've seen in the past that any and every particular party in the history of its evolution cannot be just given cookies and brownies for their goods and have not necessarily only indulged into right or wrongs or whatever. What is important for me today is that the year-long, what's really important, honestly, for any party for that matter, is how they treat the people of the state or the country, and what are the immediate steps they took towards the people of that particular region. And in that sense, if you look at the way Shiv Sena has performed, I would assume and presume that any and everybody, irrespective of their political affiliation, would definitely give them high marks, and that is because when dealing with all these this horrible pandemic or these difficult times, there have been no insider outsider. There have been no this community versus that community. In fact, during the time of the whole Tablighi situation that had come up in Delhi, our chief minister had taken a very strong stand for the Muslims, and had very specifically and categorically mentioned that there will not be any bifurcation, any separate whatever, or a spoken words or anything that would raise any communal and anti-Muslim kind of agenda. So I think both people talk a lot of things when they are fighting elections, but after they come into power, how they behave is what I think they should be judged for. And I think they've done a splendid job, and that's where it starts, and I'm sure it will go many places thereafter.
Basically, what you mean to say is every party has a history, but you need to see what the party is doing today.
Partly, definitely an important thing.
Is Shiv Sena's Hindutva different than the BJP's Hindutva?
I wouldn't want to comment on all these things because, to be honest, beyond a point, honestly, these are all words. But let us face it, when you have claimed a certain things and come into power, where are those things? Where is the right for all the Hindus which are suffering also with unemployment, all the Dalits which are also suffering in a few states because of a certain laws or certain kind of treatments which are given to them? Aren't they Hindu? So I'd like to first get answers on a lot of these things of the so-called Hindutva, and I think this is a rather deep subject that honestly doesn't entirely in that sense concerns me. What concerns me, because my politics is always going to be related to sociology, to the society of this country, to the people of this country, and to me it is very, very important. I am a proud Hindu, but the thing is, and my husband is an equally proud Muslim, and we both follow our religions with our own extreme strong faiths, but that has nothing to do with it. I don't understand when religion has become be all and end all of a human being and what they want to do and the kind of society that it has to be. I mean, it's a beautiful day. We are talking on a Republic Day. So we cannot forget our uniqueness as a country, and in which each one of them should be equal rights to follow their own religions.
Right. Have you been working with Aditya Thackeray as well? How in the past couple of months?
On and off, yes, and I think he's doing a brilliant job, because something that he is talking about, and quite frankly, unfortunately, gets a lot of flack for it, which he should be getting brownie points for, because if a Greta Thunberg talks about it, we are all sitting here and clapping and saying, "Oh, environment, look at this young girl, she knows about the environment." When he is talking about environment, with COVID situation for the entire of 2020, 20, if it has taught us anything, it has taught us that we have taken ourselves and the whole world around us so much for granted, and I'm talking about mankind in general, thinking that we are the be all and end all of the universe, we run the whole world. That is not the case. We need to be in coexistence with nature, and that is the only way to survive. So if we don't kind of look at the environmental issues, other issues, so I think he has been doing great job on that. Whether it is, they are all baby steps, but in long run they will all prove to be beneficial. Like whether it is, these buses that he has gotten which run on electricity, and other few things, or beautification of the city, which was of course very long overdue as well.
Just a little bit about your experience with the Congress. You were with the party for about 5 months. What exactly went wrong?
Well, I wouldn't like to comment on it now that it's been over 1.5 years that I am out of the party. I didn't comment on it then, I didn't comment on it now. I just feel that the way things were going around at that time where I was concerned, they were not suiting my sensibilities of how I wanted to work and go ahead and progress in life. And let me just leave it at that for now.
All right. This whole Kangana issue, do you think the Shiv Sena handled it right? Some part of it, the party did face some flack with regards to the demolition of her office.
She was sent notices prior to that as well. To me, both as a Shiv Sena member and just as a mere citizen of the country, there were two things to it. First of all, the notices were sent on which there were no action taken. The thing that definitely I would think was not maybe completely in line with the whole thing was that she should have been probably present there. But I don't think the way she first of all came across and was going on about everything. Well, she has been given Padma Shri by the same government, that she is completely standing by, and she is supportive of. So I think, with that comes a lot of responsibilities, with the way you talk, with the way you conduct yourself, the way you come across. You cannot, for your small tiny agenda, speak about the chief minister of any region, and I'm talking about any. I have problems with many chief ministers in this country. I cannot talk about them in this kind of a manner, which honestly sounds quite vulgar in the kind of culture and tradition that we come from, and then go on and on about the city, about the people, about the culture and upbringing of that whole place, about the Mumbai police, which have the highest rate of getting cases solved. And it is just insulting an entire fragment of society. So I think it is done and spoken about too much. But I think when one is talking about any issue, both the sides need to be taken in consideration.
You said she's speaking for the particular government, and some Shiv Sena leaders have also said that she is politically motivated, in the sense politically backed. I remember Pratap Sarnaik had once made a claim that her Twitter handle is perhaps...
No. One minute. I'm going to have to stop you there. Perhaps you're not in touch with her Twitter handle that much. She herself has claimed it while answering one of my tweets that BJP को खुश करने के चक्कर में मैंने अपने आप पे cases लगा लिए हैं. So when a person speaks like that, do you make anything else out of that? Because I don't. Because if anybody else does, they could just very well say about it. When she has herself proclaimed that BJP को खुश करने के चक्कर में, I don't think anything else is left. Only thing I have not against, only point I would like to make here is that when you have political agenda, don't try to show yourself as somebody who is doing something for social good. Because let's face it, social good, yours and mine can't be different. I cannot be talking about let's say, your state, your city, your people, your upbringing, culture, everything in a derogatory manner and say I'm doing it for my own social good. It doesn't work like that. In which case, you or I would be having some other political agenda. I don't think there is anything that needs to be discussed further in this.
All right. Now Shiv Sena and the Congress are in an alliance. Is it uncomfortable at all that you were with a party left on certain terms and now?
It's not comfortable. I'm just a small part of the whole big, large, government that they have been running brilliantly. In fact, and I have great relation with all my former senior colleagues in Congress, and I've repeatedly said have great respect for Sonia ji and Rahul ji, or in Maharashtra for people like Ashok Chavan ji and Thorat Sahib, and of course Prithviraj Chavan ji. There's so many of them basically. So, and also in by themselves, Mahavikas Aghadi have been working quite brilliantly in coalition, and I think that the results of that are out in the for the people to see. So there is no awkwardness or something like that at all. Nobody has even thought of it, as a matter of fact.
All right, last question, and I know that your name has already been nominated for an MLC post, but would you like to contest direct elections again?
It's too early to comment on all of these things, to be honest. I believe in taking one baby step at a time. I'm extremely new in this field.
Did you enjoy it the first time?
I absolutely did. I believe that I believed in whatever it is that I was doing, and that is why even Congress had offered me the MLC position. But because I'd already quit the party, I thought it would be not right on my part to just join it again, because they were offering me a position. There were other issues apart from anything else. So basically, yes, I definitely believe that it is the people. It is democracy is government by the people for the people, right? So it is got to be, everything has got to be with people. So I had a great time, not because I was sitting in my AC room and contesting an election. I was in the middle of all the poor people, slums, everywhere where there were problems. I was there trying to understand them. And I think the way I have fared, and in such a short career, I doubt in the history of political arena, somebody who didn't have any political background. As a matter of fact, my background always has turned out to be negative for me, because people tend to look down upon me as an actress, as a good-looking woman. Well, I have it all on platter for people to troll me. And
Why would you say that? Why would you say that people look down upon?
That's what I have experienced in last 1 year and more than that, and the 2 months of my election time as well. People were only busy putting me down, calling me names, and it is a general unfortunate prototype that women are first of all not particularly intelligent, and they are not, and then of course if you're an actor also, and then you're decently good looking also, and then if you're married to a Muslim also, I think I had it pretty much put upon a platter. But much to my credit, I had run a brilliant campaign that was covered by every major publication and channel in the country. Not only that, I was of course looked at someone who definitely was out there to do something for the people of this country, and that is not going to change come what may. That's the only thing I can sign off right now saying, because like I said, it is still very, very early for me in this arena. I would like to, if not anything else, just make sure that in my own ways I have worked for the people of Maharashtra right now, and then eventually maybe the country.
But it can surely be said that you're looking forward to work on the field, irrespective of whatever party that it may be. Yes.
See, when I came into films, there were many, many big names, someone's daughter, someone's, people who were from film industry, and people made me the star that I became. And I believe today, if I can tomorrow at some point become a people-made leader, is what I'm looking for, because it is eventually them for whom I have come into this field. I have a great house, great lifestyle, everything. Why would anybody leave all of that aside and be working like this and want to get down? Last year, there was floods in Maharashtra, and I was on a 3-day tour of Maharashtra, right in the middle of the floods in Sangli, Satara, and Ichalkaranji. So it is not just about sitting and talking about all these things. You need to get down there and you need to work in whatever minuscule way that you can, and that's the intention.
Thank you so much for talking to us. For The Print, this is Mansi Phadke. Keep watching the YouTube channel.